Hey, what's going on? This is Travis Nicolaysen with Fairway Custom Mortgage Group over here at the South Park branch. Super excited to come to you today with our October edition of our value add for our real estate agents. We are keeping the theme going with what we've had previously, which is ribbon and appraisals. And if you haven't checked out those videos on our YouTube channel, I highly encourage you to do. The last one we had was about Buffini and how to mine your database. And the one prior to that was about HomeBot. And HomeBot, if you're not familiar with it, please watch that video, connect with one of the loan officers in our branch, and get signed up for HomeBot, because it's one of those things. I'm a big fan of HomeBot because it's one of those things that really helps you. And Grant on the call will use the term not get Zillowed. And as we were going into October's value add edition, we were like, hey, what can we keep the theme going? Because I was reading an article the other day, and the question was asked, what's the biggest mistake that people make in marketing? And the response was a failure to follow up, which, I mean, I just think that's the case, right? I mean, we have 200 past clients, or our sphere. Let's just say we're new to the business and you're watching this, and you're an agent and your sphere of influence is 25 people or 50 people. And what we do is we get so bogged down and we get so excited. We're going, oh my gosh, I'm going to call them every single week, or I'm going to call them once a month, or I'm going to make sure that I email them. And then we get a listing, and then we get a buyer, and then we get caught up in doing, red time activity, which is paperwork and stuff like that. And what we don't have is a follow-up system for our past clients. Now, some of us do a really, really good job of it, but I think that if we were live and in person, or even on a Zoom where we could see everybody's video, and I look like a kind of a cutout right now, but I got this sweet background. I really, really like it. But if I was like, hey, raise your hand if you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, that you've done a really good job of keeping up with your database this year. And I would say the majority of us would raise our hand and say 5, 4, 3. Some of us would say 9. But I think I would also say, hey, raise your hand if you got on some sort of social media platform and you've seen one of your past clients purchase a new home with somebody else, or you've seen somebody that you were targeting or had a relationship with, and they ended up selling their home with somebody besides you. And you're sitting there like your blood's almost boiling because you're like, oh my gosh, I just spent so much time with this person. And the one thing that we all value in our life is time. And I came across something called Slybroadcast about 3 years ago. I was hosting an event in Monroe, and I was really busy with everything going on in my life, working on loans, working on files, making phone calls, etc. And I'm like, how do I get a lot of people to this event in the least amount of time? And Slybroadcast was a tool that we used. Now, I haven't even used in full detail, so I'm super excited about our guest speaker today. And I just used it once and simply just said, hey, this is Travis. I'm calling with Fairway Mortgage. I'm hosting an absolutely free event. We're going to have free food. Anytime we got free food, I'm like, sign me up. We're going to have tons of value add. Please text RSVP to this phone number. And I just, boom, sent it out. Super inexpensive. I'm like, I don't know if this thing's going to work or not. I really don't. And the response was, ding, RSVP, ding, RSVP, ding, RSVP. I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally spent 5 minutes on this. And now I have a room full of agents and people that came to my event just because of Slybroadcast. Okay. Then I get introduced just this past week to a thing called Sly Text. Okay. And Cece starts using it. Cece's our branch business relationship manager. She's the best. You guys have seen her face all over. And she starts using this. She's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I'm going out to do an event in Boston a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, I got to get in touch with these guys. And then I come across this awesome, awesome person named Beth George. And she's like, I would absolutely love to come on and help you out. I gave her the details. Beth in a market where rental rates have increased 14%, homes have appreciated 30%. This is an unbelievable seller market. Okay. So there's inventory super low. People have databases. They're scraping and clawing, trying to get new listings, trying to work with more buyers. Beth George, Director of Marketing and Operations over at what's called Mobile Sphere, is what I learned. That's tied with Slybroadcast, right? We really appreciate you coming on with us today. If you're me in the lending world and for real estate agents that are watching this video, what would you say is the biggest value add? First of all, thanks for coming on with us. But what would you say are some of the biggest value add and biggest things that Mobile Sphere, in particular Slybroadcast and SlyText, bring to the table for the agents on watching this video?
Well, I mean, so also fun fact, I'm also a part-time real estate agent. So I actually, can talk about the service, but actually use the service as well. So I mean, what I would say is it saves me time. So like you said, I'm guilty of not necessarily following up with my leads. I would say I'm probably a 4, out of 10. But I have it set up so when a new lead comes in, I actually automate the process and they will get a voicemail from me, on day 1, on day 30, on day 90. And then, a year out until I remove them. But I would say it will save you a lot of time. So you're still able to reach out. It's my voice. I can tailor the message to, the individual recipient, but I can kind of set it and forget it and then work on other things.
Well, that's amazing. Well, I think in this time of year too, especially for agents, I mean, it's a little slower time of year coming up to Thanksgiving, Christmas time, right? People are starting to wind down. And I'm like, you can take your entire database and literally just send them a voicemail. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I'm grateful for you. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you.
Right.
I mean, and it's the truth. It's not that you're not being genuine. It's just you're kind of like taking care of everything in 5 minutes versus, making call after call after call, and they're going to call you back, et cetera. Or whether you're an agent on the call that's doing one of our pumpkin pie giveaways that we do with our agents. It's just something that we can do as a mass. So I think that you have the ability to share your screen, Beth, and you wanted to kind of show us a little bit about how this works.
Yes, let me do that. Okay.
Boom.
So I was just going to show you around the dashboard just to kind of show you how easy it is. So basically, when you are sending out what we call a campaign, you would record your message. So that's the audio message that the recipients will receive. You'll upload a list of telephone numbers, and then you'll create what we call a campaign. And what's nice about creating a campaign is you can set the caller ID. So this is the phone number that the recipients see on their phone that the voicemail comes from. So I like to separate it. I have a Google Voice number that I use. You could use, CallRail, really any number in here, but you are able to.
But you can use your own. Beth, real quick, you can use your own personal number. So if I'm a real estate agent watching this video and I'm reaching out to my past clients and they have my number saved in their phone, it's going to show up as my number.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly. So yeah, you can set that. Or like I said, you can use any number you'd like. And then it's really just as easy as choosing the recording you want. So like, let's say I did a happy holidays, and then you can choose.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, just like your idea.
Go back to that drop down there real quick. I see something FSBO. So you're saying, hey, so if I'm an agent on this call or watching this video and I got a list of FSBOs, I can hit them all at once. Is what you're saying.
Yep.
And then potentially just get a call back and potentially get a listing.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And then you put your FSBO list here in the list section, and then you can choose when you want your voicemail to go out. Like I said, I do first day, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So I can choose the different dates and then just set it up to go, and then, forget about it almost. And it's already all pre-scheduled for me.
Okay, so we can do a reoccurring monthly. Hey, just wanted to check in, see if you need anything. Just want to see how it's going. You know, any updates to the house or fill in the blank.
Right.
And it just goes out every single month.
It'll go out on the date, whatever dates and times you pick. Right.
Sounds super expensive. Is it super
well,
expensive?
It's not. No. So we start $10 gets you 100 voicemail drops. We call them deliveries. But if for some reason we're not able to deliver, maybe somebody doesn't have a voicemail box, it's a bad number, you're not deducted a delivery credit for those calls. But we have the pay as you go in the monthly plan. You know, if you use it kind of consistently each month, go with the monthly plan. If not, you know, just stick with the pay as you go, and these credits never expire.
So 1,000 voicemails for $60.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Unlimited audio recording, create unlimited call list. After your connection, phone and email support, all guarantee. Okay. So Slybroadcast, database, FISBOs, holidays. The goal here for us agents on the call is, hey, I don't want to get Zillowed, and I definitely don't want to hop on Facebook and see that the person that I've been chatting with via Facebook Messenger or phone calls ended up listing their house with someone else because they either cut their commission or they didn't want to tell you that they were going to use them or fill in the blank. This is a way for us to stay in front of people. Now, CC started using Slide Text. Is that Mobile Sphere as well?
Right. Yes. It's all part of Mobile
Can
Sphere.
you talk about Slide Text a little bit?
Yes. And let me just go to the website so I have it up for you. So
check this out.
Let me get in here. So this is the account dashboard. I do a lot of testing. I don't necessarily use this for my own business, but you're able to send mass text messages. So what you can do, and the nice thing is if you have a Slybroadcast account, you can actually use your same credentials to log into SlyText. And then you can
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's a new feature. And then you can transfer over any lists you have in Slybroadcast right to SlyText. So they'll just pop over. But basically, you're able to send a video. You could send an image or an audio file if you wanted, all via text. Type out your message, and then you just click send, and we'll send it out kind of on the date and time of your choice as well, just like Slybroadcast.
So can you do two things on that? Can you do videos and or so I'm an agent watching the video. I'm like, whoa, I already know that 90% of the text messages that I sent out are getting open. So voicemails are great. Slybroadcast is fun. And I'm going to use that. But at the same time, I want to be able to text, and I want to shoot a quick video of myself and say, hi, happy holidays. You know, so thankful for your business this year, fill in the blank, or a FISBO or whatever. Can you send out a video or is it strictly just text?
You can send out a video. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Now, what number does that show up as? Are we using our number to do that as well?
So this SlyText is different. So you need to choose a number from our database. So we have a lot of numbers. You just pick your area code and you can choose one of ours. Or if you had a landline, so let's say you did have an office phone, but you couldn't text from it, we can actually text enable it, is what we call it, and add it to your account so you could text from it. So you have two different options there.
So I went and got my haircut this morning, and the guy that was cutting my hair, he basically, he doesn't, it's just card. You can't tip on the card or anything like that. So I don't have cash on me. I had to Venmo him. He's like, Travis, I'm like, so technology, I don't know anything about technology. But I mean, and let's say there's agents on these calls that just kind of put their head down. They work with their sphere of influence. They're not really hip on technology. I mean, these two things seem pretty elementary. I mean, in a good way. Right? I mean, these two things are pretty easy to use, yes?
Right. Yes. Oh, yes, they are. They are.
And what's the cost for the text, the slide text? Is this the same?
So if you just went with the slide text, let's say, it has different pricing. So let me go here. but it will start at $10. That gets you 500 messages. So in comparison to the Slybroadcast, it is a little bit less than the voicemail.
Easy customer opt out. So when they get a text from Sly Text, just say, hey, wanted to invite you to our event that we're having on November 17th, live and in person, living your best year ever. Is it going to have like a stop texting me or opt out, fill in the blank?
So it has one built in. It does not have anything attached to the message. So you can add that if you'd like, but if somebody replied, stop, unsubscribe, no, thank you, they would automatically get added to your opt-out list and they would not receive any more messages from you.
So Beth, here's the $1 million question. Is the message that they're receiving showing up blue or green? Because that could be an issue for people. You do know that, right?
Well,
is it showing up as Apple
yeah.
or Android?
It will show up, if you're on an iPhone, it'll show up blue.
Okay.
If you're on the Android, it'll shows up green. Yeah. I have an iPhone. I've done a lot of testing. It shows up blue.
Perfect. Okay. So inexpensive, easy way to touch our database. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Is there anything that you want to add? You're in the business. You use this stuff on a daily basis, if not on a daily basis, a weekly or monthly. Is there anything that you want to add as to, the total, reasons why they should not sign up for this, or a reason why it wouldn't work? Or, is there anything that you want to just say, hey, this isn't, to me, I'm like, this is an absolute no-brainer. We've already used it. It works. It's a slam dunk, especially for the cost.
Right.
Is there anything you want to add mobile sphere wise that we're not seeing that, besides Slide Text, besides Slybroadcast?
Well, for in your case, I would say these are the two best products. I just want to stress, you've seen the dashboards. It's very easy to use. And then on our homepage as well, we always have our phone number here and our email address, and they come right to me. So again, my name is Beth. And if you have questions or want more advice, just reach out and you will get me to chat with.
That's fantastic. And Beth, I can't thank you enough for coming on for our October edition of our value add for our real estate agents. Again, this is Travis Nicolaysen with Fairway Custom Mortgage Group over at the South Park branch. We got some exciting news coming up about our November event. We are going live and in person, and we're doing a total goal setting. We're just super pumped. I'm super pumped to see everybody in person. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And Beth, thank you so much again.
All right. Thank you.